Today's Hidden London Hangout takes us to a station I've wanted to come to since Series 1, Episode 1.
A station that's relocated and looks immaculate. Today we're at Angel.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the Hidden London Hangout of Christmas Day 2021. What a year it's been. What a journey we've all been on as a foursome, and the places we've taken you, new and old, have been spectacular. Today is the station that I have waited 4 series to go to. And for Christmas, we are at Angel. I have 3 other angels to do this with today. In my kitchen, look, I'm like a cross between Nigella Lawson and Jamie Oliver, and Chris Nix from the London Transport Museum is in his grotto too. Happy Christmas, Chris.
Well, hello. Angel at Christmas, eh? It's highly appropriate and a good excuse to get the roundel wreath out again. I've gone a bit too far with the roundels, I think, but all in a good cause. Looking forward to this one.
And it's really lovely that we're able to put the different liner in there. It's not Hidden London today, it's Angel. City Holloway, Merry Christmas to you, beautiful. You're looking very festive. I love your draping of your lights.
Well, this is the best I could do, unfortunately. I don't have a lot of decorations in here. I was just saying, my angel is upside down.
It's a fallen angel. It's a fallen angel.
Yeah. And is it reading correctly on yours? Or is it doing Lenga?
Lenga is excellent. Legna is great.
Legna.
It sounds like something you buy from IKEA, doesn't it?
Legna.
As it would like
at Christmas.
That's what we want, a nice Swedish flat pack. Speaking of beautiful, beautiful things, Laura Hilton Brown, Merry Christmas to you, beautiful. I'm loving your angel up there as well.
Merry Christmas to everyone. I'm so impressed that you all have your sparkle on, and Chris, never too many roundels. And City Holloway, not only have you got a plant in your background today, you've got your roundel and you've got fairy lights and a Nordic Christmas jumper. I am blown away. But Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope everyone's had their sparkle on today.
Do you know, I think we've all got to Christmas, which is the most important thing. What a year it's been. And as you know, if you've been watching these episodes since Series 1, Episode 1, it's been a journey for us, but also from day one, I said I wanted to go to this station. And the team kind of held it in abeyance and dangled a carrot in front of me for a very long time. I was elated when I was told to meet Chris Nix at Angel Station just before Christmas, because it could only mean one thing. The homework was to watch 40 Minutes, the episode, that BBC documentary called Heart of the Angel from the late 80s, where you got to see Angel Station in its griminess before all the amazing amounts of marble and massive works were done to make that station beautiful as we see it today. But let's go right back to the start, because Sids and Laura and Chris can walk us through this journey together as we go back to 1901, when Angel Station's history began, didn't it, Chris?
It did. I remember you telling me about Heart of the Angel when I very first met you, and you wanted to go to this place then. So here we go. Angel Station. It's quite an old one. It opened as part of the northern extension from Moorgate of the City and South London Railway. It was briefly its northern terminus on that extension, and it opened in 1901 on the 17th of November, a very handsome station designed by the architect Sidney Smith, and it sat on the corner of City Road and Torrens Street. Now, in common with a number of other City and South London stations, it was built with an island platform, like you'll still find today at Clapham Common and Clapham North. And the line pushed north to Euston in 1907, meaning that Angel was no longer that northern terminus of the line. In the 1920s, there was a redesign of the station, which is mainly cosmetic. It was tiling was changed, and it got a new facade on City Road. And then in the early 90s, it was finally time to address the problem of the lifts and them not working very well. And so the escalators were added at the station, and the entrance moved to the location that we know today on Upper Street.
The hairs on the back of my neck are already tingling with what we're about to see. But before we do that, let's have a little slideshow of some beautiful pictures. Law, you're going to love what we see, because the first one is right at the start of this journey. Look at that, Law. Bird's custard.
I thought thought you were saying there were birds in it. I was like, well, I can see a horse, but I can't see any birds. I mean, this is just a lovely picture. Look at that cart and all of the amazing fashion that's going on here. I'm not even looking at the station, guys. I'm looking at everything around it. And I'm so chuffed that this is the kind of final episode, or where you guys got to visit at the end of this year, because Alex, I know that you have been rooting for this for so long, and it just makes me so excited that you were so excited to be there. And yeah, this clip is lovely. I went a little bit off swerved there, but yeah, the clip is good.
It's so cool. And Chris, that really does go back to the very origins of the station, doesn't it?
It does. Laura said she wasn't even looking at the station. Neither was the photographer. I think they were taking a photo of the horse bus, and it's the earliest photo in our collection that shows the station.
It's amazing. Sid, a little bit of history there with their brick roads as well.
Yeah, cobbled streets. That's it's quite. I'm just trying to make out, because I didn't realise that Sidney Smith was the architect. We always talk about dear old Sidney Smith at Euston, because he designed the station building there. But I haven't quite clocked that he'd done Angel as well. I really wish that lovely bus would just move a tiny bit so I could see the whole thing.
No, the bus is really cool.
On next shot is for you then, Siddy. And by the way, I think when we were there on Torrens Street, I'm pretty sure it's still got some of those original cobbles.
It does, yeah, because I walked all the way down it, and yeah, it does happen.
This is incredible. And there we go. Look at that. That was, now when was that, Chris? Because that looks very much more familiar of what you see of Torrens Street now.
So this is a little bit later. This is 1915.
Yeah, this looks familiar to me. And also what I love is that in Torrens Street, when you look down to on the left-hand side of this photo, you can see that building, the building next to the station, that is still there today. Yeah. It's like a kind of, it looks like an old warehouse or something.
It's frozen in aspic, isn't it? The whole area. It's really bizarre.
Yeah. It's kind of the juxtaposition of like, yeah, frozen in time and brand new, because it's got like this sort of 90s conglomerate right next to it, which is really interesting. Chris, can you zoom into it a little bit?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Can you guys like imagine if we were getting a train, like say we're in this picture and we were getting a train and then you just like jump on a little horse and cart afterwards, like how amazingly cool that would be.
It's really interesting, because one of the things that we really tease out on these episodes is how London has so drastically changed, yet it still stays the same. And the fact that you can go to this area, go walk down Torrens Street as you go to the pub just across the way. Chris and I did not go there, by the way, that day, and see those archways. They date back so far. They are part of the fabric of this station as it was, and as it could be in the future. Who knows? I love the detail. I love the newspaper seller and the billboards and all that. The Animal Rescue League, look, Law.
Oh gosh, I had missed that. I can't see
on
it.
The right-hand side. It's just electric trains to Moorgate, Borough and Stockwell. I just love the detail of all of this. And of course, there's something really comforting. I don't really see it elsewhere in the country. I'm sure they are. But when you see the sides of buildings that have had adverts painted on them in such great sizes, like Brighton Main Matches and things like that, all over London. I love it.
Yeah, I love those. Oh, and look, in the street, they've got tram tracks. That's very nice.
So cool.
Very interesting. Great photo.
Let's go down and have a look at the platform, Chris. Right back when.
Let's.
I mean, look at all of the gas pipes and goodness knows what, I assume.
That's right. So this is looking northbound. You can see the single set of steps that bring you down onto the platform at the end. And do you see the railway official on the right hand side? He's standing on the edge. Even he's kind of looking at it, I think, going, "It's a bit narrow, isn't it?"
Yeah, bit.
Yeah, they're all standing right on the edge, aren't they?
Interesting how they seem to be socially distancing, though. They do seem to be socially distancing, even way back when. Incredible. OXO sign. And yeah, it's really interesting. Or just have that thought in your mind. We're looking towards, on the right-hand side is a southbound track. The left-hand side is a northbound track. And as you can see, there's only one way in and out of this station off the platforms, and it's off at that end, okay? So northbound front of train, southbound back of train, up those steps. And Chris, if we move to the plan, as we were saying, up the steps, you can only get out of it one end of the platform, Law. So you can effectively, that island platform actually comes to a wall at the far end, and you go, and there's like a circulation around the lifts and the spiral staircases, isn't there, Siddy?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so you kind of come up onto that lift landing, and then there is, yeah, the lifts there and the stairs there. Actually, I'm asking Chris to zoom every time, but I can't actually see. It's hard when.
What was really interesting is, Lord, when we were looking at that documentary, 40 Minutes Heart of the Angel, Chris and I were trying to work out which lift shafts were in use, and actually both of them were, because the big lift shaft that you can see with the black lines around it had 2 newish silver lifts in, but the final one at the top of the picture, if you like, had a really old lift, and that hadn't been replaced, and it was decrepit, to be honest. And that was as it was when that station part shut before the bit with escalators was opened up. It's fascinating. And then of course you've got your spiral staircase and a staff room that we found as well. So
I wonder why they made one of the lift shafts bigger than the other. That's quite interesting.
It's a very curious arrangement, isn't it? So I wondered exactly the same thing. A 3 lift arrangement like that is unusual. But then could
it have been added later?
I don't think so.
No, this is a pretty early diagram.
Yeah.
What's kind of interesting as well is when you go down there, those upper lifts, the top lifts, they clearly had been Boswick gates off at some point, because you could see that they were there. So how curious.
Isn't it just? And the first video that we're going to show you is actually all to do with the track work that you can see on the right hand side of that diagram. So Chris, we're talking about the very origins of this station, aren't we? Where to turn the locomotives around that ran the trains, they needed a siding, didn't they?
They did. So remember, this was built as the northern terminus. So you needed to be able to turn trains around. So you can see there's lots of points on the right hand side of that diagram at the southern end of the station. And then there's also, you can just see on the very right hand side at the bottom, there's an extra tunnel, which is a little siding. So hold that in mind, because we'll be seeing that shortly.
As Christmas presents go, Chris, this you've aced. Now we are at the southbound end of the southbound platform of Angel Station, and this was the original, platform area, wasn't it? There was an island and 2 tracks.
That's right, yeah. So you've got the southbound track is still where it was, and then the northbound track is where we were stood. Yeah?
It's incredible, isn't it?
But it makes for a very nice wide platform now, but it must have been terrifying to use.
And I think at the time, when you look at any of the sort of pictures or even the documentary Heart of the Angel, it's a very, very busy station, very, very crowded. And if we work out, the platform itself would have been probably no more than about here, wouldn't it?
About here to there. And the only way in and out was the stairs at the other end. And
so you were right caught there, weren't you? You were caught there, really.
But because this was originally that terminal platform, because that was the noise caused by the air pressure going through that grill, and because this was originally the terminal station for the extension north from Moorgate, that's why there had to be a little bit of something extra in here to be able to turn trains around.
And just to expand on that point, as the City and South London Railway, which became the bank branch of the Northern Line, extended north, at one point Angel was the terminus, wasn't it? That's why there needed to be a point of turning the trains round.
That's right,
didn't it? Before it was extended to Euston.
That's right. So inside here, sidings and crossover junction.
Wow, through there? Let's do it.
Okay, let's go inside.
Oh, this is very exciting. Oh wow! So this is, crikey! Oh, look at this. So this is the original northbound running tunnel.
That's right. If you look through there, you can just see the train. See?
Oh wow!
They were that close together, and so you've got original extension City and South London metals in here.
Oh, this is incredible.
Now, this isn't where the crossover was. That's a little bit further on still.
Through those gates?
Through those gates. So should we
head
on down? Yeah.
Oh, wow. Merry Christmas, everyone. Oh, look, I can see lights. Is that the northbound train coming towards us? Is it? Oh, wow, look at that. So what you're seeing there is a train coming to, look how far away it is. So that's been through City Road, right?
That's right.
And then it will peel off to go to the new northbound platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. And listen to the noise of the air. Wow. Let's have a bit of light.
Okay, so we're going out through these gates onto, used to be track bed, not anymore.
This is vast.
Isn't
Wow,
it?
this is, oh wow, look at that. So there's, down there, I can just about see.
Well,
there's, well, only just though.
yeah, well, the thing
Oh,
is,
look.
you know, I get asked a lot about what equipment we use on the Hangouts, and specifically about how we like these spaces. And, well, it's this magic thing here, an O-light.
Oh wow.
So that's
oh,
a bit better, isn't it?
That is incredible. So what we're looking at there is you can, to the left-hand side, you can see the old northbound running track.
That's right.
And to the right, that is, I suppose, effectively the...
That is the original siding on the right-hand side.
Oh, how amazing.
Yeah. So this is the running line that would come through, and then you would have a crossover to go into the siding.
So that siding was 1901.
Yeah. And it's been truncated. You can see it's been blocked up, but...
Can you just grab this a minute? Just hold the camera for a minute. I just need to give people an idea of the
Shall we go
size of
down?
this. Yeah, but look, this is me. I'm 5'9". This is enormous. It's absolutely, if I can take this off now, can't I? This is absolutely enormous.
Thought you'd like it.
Original 1900.
Yeah, 1900.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, let's go
Merry
and have
Christmas to me. Right, where do we need to go? So we've got these two tunnels, and the really crazy thing about this is we're at Angel, midway down the Northern Line, and this is a siding, isn't it?
Yeah, and just look at it. It's been quite a while since any train used that. And if we look up on the ceiling, some of the best calthamite straws I think I've ever seen.
Now these posh terms you use, there's bits of hangy-downy stuff, aren't they? Look a bit
Yeah.
like Lamenta for Christmas.
So and look at this one. I mean, it's very rare that one has made it all the way down to head height.
A festive calthamite straw. That's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so that is just water and calcium just dripping and extending that down and down and down.
And it's a hollow
Look at all those.
tube, so if you even so much as touched it, or coughed next to it probably,
It would drop.
crumble off. Yeah. Sorry, what was what?
No, I was just looking at the number of them. There's so
yeah.
many of them down there.
Yeah. They form really well in still air.
Right, so this is why it's
So it's
plugged,
just
isn't it?
tiny drip of water seeping in very slowly, and they dry off and form these hollow straws.
And to just put into perspective where we are, this was the siding that was used when, look at the muck round
Yeah,
here.
try not to tap
Look
too
at
much of
that,
that.
look at that, in the light, look at that. It's incredible. So this was the siding that was used to turn the trains round when Angel was the northbound terminus
right.
of the Northern Line for a while. This is incredible. And then down the other tunnel, if we just sort of follow this down, it really is filthy down here, guys, but you know, if you're a fan of the Hidden London Hangouts, you love a bit of dirt. Certainly we do. Nice flip-top bin there.
Not one of yours, I noticed.
Sleepers. No, it's not a Grundon bin.
Now, speaking of sleepers, Alex, I don't know if you noticed, we've been walking on
Yeah.
some of the original sleepers that have been left down. And then if we just whiz around that way, and again, I'm just going to give it beans with the Marauder.
Now, what we're looking at
Marauder
down
2.
here is the old northbound tunnel. And in those gates at the end,
Yeah.
I suppose the other side of that is the existing northbound running tunnel that swerves off
That's
to
right.
the right of us.
And this is now where we're going to have to be very careful. If we just stop here,
Yep.
because the trains on the current northbound tunnel will be coming head on to this. And I'm just going to dim the light down now, because as we go forward, we need to be very careful. I'm just going to put the torch down on the ground. So we don't want to put the torch head on to any drivers.
So we're walking
up the line.
basically towards the running tracks. This is incredible, Chris. This
Yeah,
is
it's all right,
absolutely
isn't it?
incredible. It's a bit like when we went to London Bridge, only there was a brick wall at the end of that. This is a gate.
Yeah, and it's separated from the track. We're not actually technically, yeah.
And the power rail's still here.
Yeah.
So they actually, when it was taken out of service, they just kind of left
Yeah,
it.
they
did
just
they?
disconnected it. It's rare that we do one of these walks without us being in camera, but this is one of those occasions when I think, what's in front of us is probably far more interesting than looking
Too
at
right.
us, isn't it?
So we're literally at the gate where the Northern Line is going to meet us.
That's right.
This is absolutely amazing.
And as we talked about before, you get these areas which are very useful for permanent way teams who maintain the tracks to store, use ballast and things like that. So we'll...
I wonder how long it'll be before a train comes.
Well, through the magic of editing, we won't make our viewers wait.
Yep.
So just while we're waiting for a Northern Line train to appear, that's what we've just walked down from the station.
Wow, let me take a photograph of that. Heavens above.
We're now going to douse the light and just wait for a Northern Line train to come along. Now, just in front of us, there's quite the curve.
Yeah.
So the train initially comes straight for us. There's the blast of air.
It's like a game of chicken.
And right now, it looks like it's coming straight for us. But here we go. Worth waiting for, wasn't it?
Absolutely. There's
now,
another
you know
one.
what you say about you wait for one and two come along together.
Isn't that incredible? Should we wait for the second one to go?
Oh, totally. Oh, one last little thing I'd like to do. Right, so there's one little feature which I just want to show you here, which you'll appreciate. It's just up here on the wall. Look what it says.
C&SLR, look at it. City and South London Railway.
Absolutely. So there you go. You know that they are original lining rings that you're looking at there.
I just love my job. Look at that. Wasn't that amazing? Is it interesting as well, that little moments of Chris and me talking as if we are friends? All right, yes, lovely. Was that lovely? It's so cool. Siddy, even as you were watching that, and you're a seasoned explorer with Nixie, even you went, oh, that's good. That was a bit down that tunnel, wasn't it, when the train was coming at us?
Yeah, well, I've not been to that side of that running tunnel. I've been to the north side of it, so I've not seen it from that angle. And yeah, as you said, God, the Northern Line's straight, isn't it? So, you know, you'd think you wouldn't like it, but lovely to see the light kind of coming through to you like that. Like I said, it looks like it's from space, like you're in space, like outer space or something.
It's so lovely. And do you know what I mean, Law, when I said it was like playing chicken with the train? Because it comes right at you and then it just goes whoosh off to the side. It's incredible.
I absolutely get what you're saying. And I think it's because that the moment before the train comes past, even though there is the light from the front of the train, it goes very, very dark. So you're kind of a little unsure of your surroundings. And that, you know, what a treat, what a special moment that clip was. I'm feeling the love for you guys at the moment. Siddy was obviously off filming. I was training down at Down Street in Euston. So we were both still subterranean somewhere, but I've never been to Angel either. So there was so many things to go at in that clip. From the first section where you've got the two tunnels, the running track and the siding. And then you've got the tiny little gap in, you know, the little kind of cracked gap in the wall where you can see the train come past, to the utter rawness, which I absolutely love. You know, the dust and the calthamites, and, you know, that nobody's been there. It's so undisturbed. I mean, there are so many things to go at. And I'm just so surprised how much, you know, Angel's been through, like the journey and the story. And I now get why you wanted to go there, Mr. Grundon.
I so did. And you know what's really interesting as well? I'm just going to weave this in because we had a message from Jennifer, one of our regular viewers, actually one of our Patreons. And it was about the relationship that we all have together, but specifically the one, if I'm feeling scared, usually Chris will reassure me. And she said, that's the underpinning of this entire adventure that you four are on. I think the tone and the style and the overall vibe of a deep and genuine friendship that comes across on the screen is so clear. I remember when you talked about a fear, was it of heights or in close spaces? It was both, actually. And you say how safe you felt with Chris. That's how you four make the audience feel. We know that. In this time of attacks and lashing out and name calling, we're in safe hands with you guys. A little oasis of good cheer and amazing facts. I know that explorations and all those reveals and behind the scenes details of the agenda, but that's the real treat for me, having been with moments when it's personal and real. You said about something when you were doing the poster episode that was so dear to you and moving. And I thought to myself, I wasn't wrong in being so attached to this show. It really is something very rare. Thanks, Jennifer. And it really is friendship for all of us. We've got through awful situations together. And this is what this episode is as much about as anything else. We've got more pictures to show you, haven't we, Chris, of Angel and its evolution through time. I mean, that's probably, I love all that, because they were enamel signs, weren't they, Sids, above the front door. And I guess probably they're somewhere in the museum archives, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know whether we have those particular ones, but yeah, I do love that view. Very different to the original station. No, very, very kind of, yeah, completely different look. And I'm just trying to sort of look at what this reminds me of, because who was the station redesigned by, or the outside of? Do we know?
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but it reminds me a little bit of Kennington. And if it had a dome roof, it could be Kennington. But of course, it's got that other set of lifts in there, which might explain why it's got a longer, squarer roof.
It's really interesting because this is the new facade that got changed in the 20s. And it's a Holden design, but it's been certainly hacked about quite significantly, as it looks a little bit worse for wear at this point. When is this photo taken, Chris?
This was in 1988 by our former head curator.
Brilliant.
So that was around the time that documentary was being created, wasn't it? Heart of the Angel. How funny. So that is how the world saw that station. I mean, let's have a look at the next one, because it's inside the booking hall, that if you've seen the documentary, you'll know exactly what this view is. And it fascinates me. I mean, look at that, Laura. You've got the petimeter. You've got I mean, it's a very, very Spartan looking station, isn't it, really?
It is. I'm not quite sure how I'm feeling about this at the moment, to be fair.
Sad. It's a sad looking station right now, isn't it? Sad, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of quite clinical. I don't think that's the right word, maybe. There's not much kind of character jumping out at me at the moment. Not that there has to be for it to be, you know, a pleasant station, but it's just quite clean and flat for me at the moment.
The two things that spring to mind: number one, they've boarded up one of the petimeter windows, and the second one, it says it all about why this station needed the work. It says, in the evening peak, there are times when we have to close the station for short periods for safety. This is due to overcrowding on the platform. So even then, they had to shut the station occasionally in order to ease the crowds on that island platform. In a way, it was, the writing was on the wall, Chris, wasn't it? Something had to be done.
Absolutely. And the something was being done, which was the planning for the station that we have today. And thank goodness they did do that.
Oh, wow. Look at that. You see, that is how it looked. And so just to navigate yourselves, this is the one way on and off that platform, and it's at the front end of the northbound and the back end of the southbound. That's where we are. So north is coming on the right, south is going on the left. And you can just see how, I mean, in rush hour, it must have been quite scary, Law, to be on that platform.
Yeah.
I'm getting like Clapham Common, Clapham North vibes because of the angle of the shot and the kind of dual platform, but it's super narrow, isn't it? It is really narrow, which you can see why the planning is going through to make this a safer space for people, for sure.
For a zone one station, utterly narrow. And of course, it looks just grimy and sad right there. And of course, as I was saying a minute ago, I'm sorry to jump the gun, but you have the lift sign, don't you?
We do. Also, just take a look at those handrails, because you might see some of those again later. But yeah, there you go. That's what forced the redesign of the station. That platform and the lifts being really at the end of their life as on Heart of the Angel.
And you're going to see, Laura, the poster now that basically heralded the big change for Angel, which took the lifts out and put escalators in. Angel gets a facelift. What do you think?
I mean, it's quite clever, isn't it? I like that they've used the features of the station to replicate the features of a face. I mean, it's kind of it's super clever. You know, you've got the escalators for the eyes and a little roundel for the nose, and there you go with the platform for your little side smile, and obviously the angel halo there as well. But I like it. It's kind of quite quirky.
It's so lovely. And
it's very 90s, isn't it? It's super 90s.
God, yeah. But you see, this is where, for me, this whole trip with Nick's got so exciting. I was tingling all over. That documentary that we've talked about, that I've banged on about so many times, I could probably tell you frame by frame what that station looked like then. I was itching to see what it looks like now. So come with us as we effectively go up the steps off that island platform and round towards the lifts.
Right, come on through.
This is your Christmas present, by the way.
Well, that's very
you
kind
got
of
that
you.
while, is it through this door?
It is, yeah.
Right, so over there, there's original tiles. Look at that.
Okay.
Bricked up wall. Okay, let's have a
Through
look.
the door.
Oh my word. Right.
Now this is what a happy Alex Grandin looks like in his element.
Do you know, there's actually, the hairs in the back of my neck are standing up.
Shall I just do the magic with the torch and put us all on
Do you know, it's really weird. I've never been into a building and it's made me feel quite like this. This is
Look at
this
the
is quite
decay
emotional.
going on though. It's so humid in here that the paint, probably from the 70s there, is peeling off from the original paint underneath.
Thank you so much for this.
Well, it feels like a rite of passage to bring you here.
This is the passage as well.
Yeah, should we go and explore this passage?
Yes, absolutely. So we are walking. Oh my! This is the bit on the telly show. This is the bit that was on the telly show, right? So, little walk through there.
That's that was an office. You could just see. Quite why they needed a sledgehammer, I don't know, but they apparently did.
Interesting.
And we can peek through and see.
Chris, this was the bit on the blooming documentary.
Yeah.
This was the bit where you see those people running down to catch the lift. This is absolutely unbelievable. That presumably was the way to the emergency stairs.
Infamous spiral stairs.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I can't. That is incredible.
Yep. Might share that on Patreon.
Yeah. Keep a bit for the people who pay. Look at this, though. All of the places where the tiles, the posters go.
Right. And
oh my goodness! Look at the tiles. The tiles were on the documentary.
So you now know where you are.
The lifts.
This is one of the lift shafts. Now this one had the two lifts in, the two more modern ones.
Yeah.
And then weirdly, this one had three lifts. It still had the old one through these gates
and round to here. And this was the one, the really decrepit old lift that's in the documentary. In the third lift shaft.
Should we take a look up it?
Oh, Chris! Oh,
So,
wow.
Let's have a look with the epic torch.
And look, through there, you can literally see the other side of this tunnelling was obviously the exit for the lifts as well.
That's right.
I'm sorry, I'm just taking a couple of photographs because I'm properly touristing now.
You get to tourist. Now, if I could just point something out here.
Yeah.
Did you notice that when we came in, you saw the more modern 20s tiling,
Yeah.
which has got the green, the white, and the black. Yet here is a colour scheme which you will see a little later on at surface level.
It's that cream, isn't it?
Slightly different. You've got more of the blues. And let me show you something else that we've seen before. Do you notice that just around the edge of the tiles there's rust?
Yeah.
Well, do me a favour, that torch you've got in your hand, it's got a magnetic base. Just offer the base to it.
So this is, right, okay, so this is, right. So a lot of the 1920s refurbishments of the tiles, they used sheets of metal tiles, didn't they? Mm-hmm.
They're enamelled metal tiles, basically. We saw them at embankments, if you remember.
We did, and they will be elsewhere. And London Bridge. Mm-hmm. Do you remember London Bridge in that disused bit? I love, Chris always issues me with the
city branch of the Northern Line.
Northern Line. Right, give me the camera because you've got something to show me, haven't you?
Hand that to you.
Yeah.
Juggling things a little bit here. But there's a really nice thing that we found. When Siddy and I came into this space for the first time, there was something sat just on this piece of bar here.
Really?
And we didn't know what it was at the time. It's Sam Mullins who told us straight away, because they were still using them at school when they went to school.
So the boss of the London Transport Museum identified an artefact from Angel Station?
He did. And we'd already worked out how it had got in there. But here you go. This I've brought back today.
Oh, that's really cute. What is that?
Well,
a pot.
It is. It was sat just there, so I'll pop it back in its temporary home for a moment. And what Mr. Mullins told us it was a Victorian ink pot.
So that's from the office.
Well, what I think may well have happened, we think it was found in the sump by lift and pump engineers, and just fished out. They didn't know what to do with it, so they put it on there. When Cindy had been in here the year before I came here, she said it wasn't there. So it happened in the meantime. So here's what I reckon happened. I think when the place was being built, there was probably the architect or an engineer working on site. They accidentally knocked their pot and down it went into the soft bottom of the lift shaft and survived. Or possibly they were working down here and it got kicked off into it. But there you go. It's great that it survives.
And do you know, to add another little element of embellishment to that, when you look at the original plans for Angel Station, it was all hand-drawn with calligraphy handwriting, wasn't it? So all of this goes back to inkwells and nibs.
And we'll see when we're back in the studio, we'll have a look at one of those plans.
I really am having a job taking this in. This is the one station I was desperate to come to for the entire 4 series. And for Christmas, you've given me, I'm overwhelmed.
One last thing just to have a look at in this passageway, and that's just here. If you've got the Hidden London book, you will probably recognise that poster.
Oh, wow.
Which was about mainline railway travel times. And there you go. It's quite a colourful one. It's great. It still survives on the wall, doesn't it?
Do me a favour.
So look at the bottom, in fact. It's still got that. Do you remember that old British Rail slogan of "This is the age of the train"?
Yeah. Can you do me a favour? Can you just whack up the light on this again? Because I need to take some photographs of this. This is proper to look at that. This way, please. Thank you. If you see Heart of the Angel, the documentary, you will see the amazing Mr. Sims, who operated the lift, ushering people down this corridor because of delays on the Northern Line that there were at the time. But I cannot believe what I'm seeing. This is literally as seen on TV. I'm amazed.
And I've just found it out. Look at this poster here. A bunch of hands all trying to grab for the strap hanger.
Everyone loves a dangler. I still can't take in what I saw because it was all on the television show. I was desperate to go there, and then I got to see it. And you saw the inkwell and the lifts and the emergency staircase and the tile work, metal tile work. Siddy, you went down there for other stuff. You've been down there before. What do you make of that down there? Because it is a time capsule, isn't it?
Well, I went first down there, not with Chris, actually, just with a photographer back in 2018, because we were doing the Hidden London book. So I didn't really know what to expect. And so when we got there and kind of went through it, it was an assault on the senses. And actually back then, that corridor still had more lights than it does now. And I just remember walking through there being absolutely kind of amazed, and having not seen Heart of the Angel at that point. You know, you're sort of just walking around there and trying to piece it all together. And I love the fact that there are still some little posters there. The ink pot was a particular favorite moment of mine, because I remember we were actually there on a visit with the executive producer of Secrets of the London Underground. This is now years ago, showing him around, and we found that, and it was like, how did it get there? Because as I said, I distinctly remember it was not there the year before. So it's a brilliant time capsule, isn't it? And it's a time capsule of like 4 different eras too, which is amazing.
It's just layer upon layer. It's a multi-story car park of memories. And one thing I would love to do personally is, if you or a relative was in that documentary, drop a comment below, because we want to know how they thought about that station, what they thought about it. Was it really the gloomy place? Because in 40 Minutes, that amazing documentary by Molly Deneen that won so many awards, we really got an insight into what it was like to have to go to work in the 80s, in a job that perhaps you weren't that keen on doing, in a building that wasn't that clean and right. It just was breaking down. And we saw layer upon layer of their humanity as well. The lovely Mr. Sims who operated the lift, the gentleman who worked in the ticket office who always made me laugh, the foreman. If any of you are still around, drop a comment or get a relative to drop us a note in Instagram, direct messages, because I'd love to piece together some of the history of what happened next. Anyway, Laura, it's blowing my mind. I hope you're following all of this.
Absolutely. I think that your reaction in the clips is just this lovely, sparkly, Christmassly, rolled up ball of amazing energy, and I'm feeding off that right now. And what I love about that last clip and the corridor is, I mean, the poster and the tiling section, gorgeous, but it's that it's kind of equal amounts of crumbly peeling as well preserved, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's stunning. And you wonder why. It's two things. First of all, everyone does love a dangler. And secondly, is there any wonder why I try so hard to give these guys great Christmas presents? Because look at what they give me, a trip to Angel organised by these people. Now, let's have some more pictures, because there's one more video to show you. But before that, let's have a look at the frontage from the 1920s, because it really is stunning. And I love as well the way that the word underground pops out in the stone law. I mean, it's just gorgeous, isn't it?
I mean, that's lovely. That's an amazing picture. I'm loving that right now.
Chris, it's beautiful. And I mean, the street lamp, everything, all the little detail, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
It's beautiful. It's such a contrast with how that building ended its life, isn't it? Rather sorry and functional and kind of knocked about. But there it is. It's actually quite a handsome addition, that front facade, isn't it?
One of the things that always staggers me really is the way that London Underground always used to pick local places to advertise stations. And this one is going to blow your mind.
Well, there was a place nearby that attracted a lot of agricultural and animal shows, so that might make sense out of the following.
Smithfield Meat Market.
I feel like the London Underground would not happily advertise to bring your cattle on the tube and up into the lifts.
Would they take the lift or the spiral stairs? And then would you have to go down backwards?
Or you wouldn't want to go up behind that animal after it.
With a shovel. With a shovel. There you go, Laura, a bit of popping candy for you.
The cow's looking kind of quite calm, and there's people hiding behind the signs as if that is going to like rampage through. But if you look at the date, guys, it's not so far from when we are kind of where we are at the moment, and I quite like that. It's a nice little link between then and now.
It's like the old carry-on line, is it? What's a man like you doing with an old cow?
It's
right, gorgeous stuff.
This is a poster from 1927, and it's, if you're just looking around and absorbing the characters in the background and what else is going on. You've got the train on the right hand side with people with the kind of theatre glasses on because they're heading down for a show, and then on the other side, you notice that the second poster is Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah,
it's very sort of British commentary on what's going on in the rest.
Absolutely love it. Next one is 1953, isn't it, Chris? We bounce forward to that. I mean, it's frontages again, isn't it? Look at the coronation stuff.
Well, that's it. It's 1953, so you know what's going on. They've put the finery drapes over the canopy there, and do you see the lovely poster frames there?
Yeah.
We have one of those in our collection.
Oh, and nice.
You see
that's
that
one that says Angel, with a light.
That's right. Yeah. And do you see that rather nice poster that you're probably a bit too far away to see, on roughly centered in the picture? Well, we have that as well, and that's it.
Oh,
and
nice.
It's there for the coronation.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It gives me Leinster Garden vibes.
Well, it's Buckingham Palace, but I do know what you mean. Yeah.
Laura, you like that?
I do, and I love the really kind of tiny but still very significant roundel on the right hand side.
Glorious, isn't it? I tell you something, I wish I had his waistline after COVID and Christmas. Trust me,
no,
I'd have to grease that. I'd have to grease that yellow door frame to get through there. And it's beautiful. Well, there's so much about that building that we've seen so far, and the final port of call for Chris's and my trip around that relic of a building was to street level, really, and have a look at the building that's left. Chris, as Christmas presents go to me, this has to be the gold standard.
Yeah, it's almost like we planned it, isn't it? You enjoyed
Christmas
it so far?
Day. I've loved it. But this isn't where it ends, is it? Because now we're going to the booking hall where a lot of the action on that old documentary actually happens.
I suspect this is the bit that's probably going to have the most resonance for you and bring back most memories of watching Heart the Angel.
I love it. Now, how do we get in here?
Well, I believe I quote Snoop Dogg when I say, freeze, at ease, let me drop some more of them keys. Come on. Okay, so time for your first look at a bit that was old station.
So this was in use until the early 90s.
That's right, yeah.
And I mean, look, the paint's coming off the wall. It's pretty grimy. What's that up there? What is that?
It's Westinghouse, so it's likely to do with signalling. Wow. And original handrail, original steps, and that would have led off to the infamous spiral staircase.
That would have done.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. This is so good. So, right, so they've taken the stairs out.
That's right.
Right,
yeah.
okay. Right.
So if we head on round here, so we'll go through and we'll see some more.
Right, okay, so here's the original banister?
Yeah, original handrail.
Whoa, look at this!
And suddenly, you're in a real station again, aren't you?
You are. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are they metal? Are they?
Just like we saw down below.
Yeah, and the embankment. We saw this, didn't we, as well, with this
that's
metal?
Right. Yeah.
I love the colours. And the funny thing about this is, at certain stations, you get this mix of the original and these kind of 1920s, are they?
That's right.
Charles Holden, weren't they?
Yeah, it's the redo.
And this green and black, and you see them in certain places at Camden Town, a lot of stations on the South and Northern.
You can always tell one of the original ones because they're so highly crazed, and the colour variation, again, look.
Yeah.
That deep green and the light green.
And the crazing is cracking, really, isn't it?
That's
it's
right, yeah. It's where you get that vitreous surface, the glass-like surface.
Crack, glaze. There you go, that's how you remember.
And again, you've got recognisable station edge treads on the nosings of the stairs.
And the bit that you've got to get your head around is this is the way that the public would have gone down to the emergency stairs when, as usual, the lifts at Angel weren't working.
That's
They'd
right.
go down there. I find this absolutely staggering that the station has been dormant since the early 90s, and you can still see, because of that amazing documentary that we always talk about, you can imagine the public just ushering down here because the lifts weren't working. But there's been a lot of work done to this.
There has, but look what still survives.
Oh,
There's
is
a
that
bit
wood?
of wooden
Architrave,
covering.
like-
Yeah, it's an architrave around the steel beam that's part of the station.
That is just, let's just, so they just covered it off
Yeah,
and just tarted it up.
it's great, isn't it?
Oh, it's off the scale, off the scale. What's through there?
Well, you ready to see the front? It's all
Yes.
covered up from the street, but if we
Yes.
go through, we can see what it's
Let's
like.
do it, let's do it.
Okay, our final sight to view.
Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. So this was the outside of the station, wasn't it?
That's right. So this is the very front of the station. That's a poster frame. You can see that same blue tiling we saw downstairs. And although the station's been painted over, you can still clearly see where these blocks, these shaped blocks, were, and that's the original look of the station.
And perhaps when you're outside in either City Road or Torrens Street, the bit you've got to get your head around is this station was expanded. This is the original wall, isn't it? The exterior
That's right.
wall. But then there was this kind of prefab metal thing put on where the new ticket office was for a while. It was a very strange extension, but just to make the station bigger.
Cheers, and I think if we just, let's bring this light over, we can just, so there we go, that's a bit better, isn't it? You can see a bit more easily.
So this is completely different, isn't it? Because actually I suspect that round the back there, and you can't see right now, but right round the back is the perimeter of the original station.
That's
It's
right.
actually really
so that's
small,
the
isn't it?
footprint. Yeah, it's not
It's
big.
small.
And it was quite a clever idea to do this. Building this off the front meant there's space to have works and make use of the curtilage of the building here. So yeah, it's amazing how much of that original identifiable station fabric survives. The poster frames are probably the most striking bit, and then these blocks which show you the kind of the skirting and the framing of the building.
It's so cool, and I was just thinking to myself, how long will a building like this really survive, and could it ever come back into service? I suppose theoretically it could, couldn't it?
Yeah, these things tend to survive until they need to do something else. So either something else is going to be built on here or another modification to the station. And although it's been capped off and sealed off from the station, in theory, that could be broken through again if future needs were required.
This is an amazing station. Thank you so much. As Christmas presents go, it's blindingly fantastic.
Well, happy Christmas,
It's just like
Alex.
that light, actually. That's blindingly fantastic as well. See, I'm almost lost for words actually doing this, and I'm never lost for words. I wanted to go for so long, and they gave me the chance to do it. And it was beautiful. The interesting thing about all of this, Sids, is you just look for breeze blocks. Where there are breeze blocks, there used to be gaps, and gaps probably meant the public, didn't they?
That's it. You know it. And you know what? It was such a pleasant surprise to find that that original station is still there, because when I first went back in 2018, I hadn't clocked that. I thought everything had gone. So it was a real revelation this week to go there and see that so much of that still remains.
And I think what is really amazing about that station is that we have that documentary to compare it to. So you can navigate your way around it, what's left, by what you could see in use back in that episode. Now, we talked about Christmas presents. This was theirs to me. I do take a pride in the presents that I give them because I care about them so much. So while we were downstairs, you might notice I was carrying a green bag, and it's because I took Chris's Christmas presents down to that station. It's Christmas. We may as well do it while we're down there in those grimy, gorgeous tunnels that Hidden London Hangouts fans have grown to know and love. Shove these on, Mr. Nix, because I want to give you your Christmas present.
Right,
okay?
excellent.
It's a little bit sort of
I don't
crazy.
normally have to put gloves on for Christmas presents.
We're not normally in filthy places at Christmas Day, but I want to give you these. So there's two.
Oh, wow, wrapped and everything. Oh.
Yeah, now, girls, I'm sorry you can't be with us today, but this is a very crazy Christmas as it was last year. So
we've all got the same thing, and I'm opening this on behalf of all of us.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So have a look at that one first. Now, the reason why I've got you this
I've peeked at my presents.
is because, you know, I love moquette, and I know these guys do too, and we've been going to Elizabeth Line stations recently, and I wanted to do something that was really sort of appropriate of the moment. Open it up and have a look.
I think they might have had a little flash of it, but look at this.
So I had made for you priority. Oh, there's a little piece of your moquettepedia as well.
Bless
so you've got proper
look at that, everybody.
priority Lizzie Line moquette
tremendous.
cushion for you. I had it made. So
That
the
is
girls, you've got one
lovely.
of these as well. And this one from
you, Alex.
a chum of the actual fan of the episodes, actually. A friend
Thank
of
you.
ours,
Can I pop
Mr.
that?
Marcus. Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
that's very kind.
Bung this. I know you love your new moquettes.
I do.
So I had a little word with our fan of the show, Marcus from Shed Number 2. Have a look at that. I think you might like this. Girls, you've got variations on the theme of this. Very festive. This just proves that you can do anything with moquette.
Thank you, Marcus. That's very kind. Look.
Isn't that cool?
I better
Central line Christmas stocking. And girls, I had one of those made for you too. So Marcus, thank you so much. And there's one other gift as well, which I'll tell you about in the studio.
Excellent.
Okay. Merry Christmas from all of us to all of you. Now, I don't know about you, but it's past my bedtime now. So I've actually put my new pyjamas on just to say that this is the new London Transport Museum Route Master pyjama. And they come with matching trues. Look at these. Aren't they just amazing?
Now, Brandon, let us first say, oh my God, you've outdone yourself again.
There you go.
I can't believe that. They look amazing. They're gonna look so good on this sofa here.
So, Laura, I know you love your moquette as well, as much as I do. So there's a cushion for you, and there's a cushion for Siddy, and a cushion for Chris. But also, as you saw from Chris's happy face, I know, Sid, you're a bit of a fan of red. So Marcus has made your stocking in the new bus for London. Oh, God love you, Shed Number 2. And Laura, let's go properly iconic with you, Laura, because let's face it, you are the style queen. District. So you have your little Christmas stockings. I'm so sorry I couldn't get them to you for Christmas Day, but they are waiting for you, and they will be up probably every year from now on. So well done, and thanks for being my friend.
Oh, we love being your friends.
It's I'll tell you something, these are brilliant pajamas.
They're comfy.
Oh my God, they're lovely. They're flannelette. So it's like,
they look super smart.
I've also bought a pair. They're very good.
Have you? The thing is about them, it's a bit like going to your nan's house when you were about 6, because the sheets were all made of flannelette. Do you remember that?
It's better that than brushed nylon. People wake all
walking
night by
past tellies and turning them on. That's the static. I love it. Laura, I hope you like your presents, doll.
I do, and I feel really bad now because when you were playing that clip when you were carrying the bag. I think I quipped something off camera, obviously, and I was like, "Why are you carrying an MS bag around with you?" And now I feel really
Very
bad.
good.
When we do actually see you again, we will hand over and bestow proper gifts upon you.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of gifts being bestowed upon us, though, we've had a little bit of things from our fans, can I say?
Oh,
So, we had a nice card turn up, which I thought you might like, from Laura Rigsby, who's one of our long-term fans. And Alex, I know you're going to appreciate this one.
Oh, good. I can't wait. Oh.
oh my God.
Hoban.
With Charles Tyson Yerke is himself on it.
Very
Brilliant.
clever. Yeah.
In
good.
gag, for anybody who's new to the show, then go back and watch the Hoban episode and you'll understand the long-running pronunciation gag behind that one. So thank you, Laura. It's
Hoban Holborn. Yeah, it's Hoban Holborn.
one of our other fans as well actually sent us something back in the summer, and it's been slightly lost and rattling around the different museum buildings, and eventually turned up a few weeks back, just as also a Christmas present arrived from all of us. So we've got a multiple opening on that one. Do you want to see?
Absolutely.
The first thing that I pulled out is genius. Big pack of wipes.
Yes.
Oh, love you.
Nice.
Tiles.
Do you know, we could have done with a few of
Jennifer.
those down there, couldn't we?
That's
I
a very
love
good
that
one.
I love that it's Christmas Day. Alex is even in his pajamas and we're doing gifts. I mean, what more?
I've even got the mince
pass round the mince
pies. If anyone
pies.
wants a mince pie, I've got it here. I've got sherry. It's great.
The next things I think involve a little bit of choice, which we should probably wait until we're all together. But 2 boxes containing, be careful I don't drop them, absolutely fabulous mugs from Chicago.
Oh, lovely. Oh,
So check that out.
Law.
And there were different designs.
I love that.
Sidney's face was so gorgeous when she saw that. It's like a child who'd just been given their favourite gift.
I'm just waiting while the camera
exactly
actually
right.
puts it. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Oh,
So we've got our
Right,
own
another one.
other tube systems are available. What?
What's great is they've all got their own different fridge magnet with them as well.
Oh, that's
Oh,
so
I love a
cute.
fridge magnet.
So much. That's so lovely. I can't believe it. Christmas Day episodes are always just lovely, aren't they? They're warmer and they're snuggleable,
Sparkly.
like my pajamas. I wonder, is it the sort of thing that you could, use to attract attention? One of these pairs of
I think it
pajamas?
would if you walk down the high street.
Half open.
There you go, Chicago Transit Authority.
Oh, that's so lovely. So we've all got a mug each, yeah?
Got a mug each, yeah. So that was just the earlier in the year presents. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank
and
you.
then I haven't peeked. So we have these, and it says on the outside oxen pine leather goods. So let's open up. I think these might be individual. Oh, here we go. So one for Siddy. This is a beautiful leather bound notebook. Could be our jotting notes on stations books.
Oh,
Have you got one of
wow.
these?
That is gorgeous, isn't it? Are you into leather, Chris?
Well, as long as they're binding books, yeah, that's absolutely fine by me. Yeah.
They are absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
Laura, what do you
Jennifer,
think, Dal?
Thank you.
I just get bowled over by how thoughtful as well as generous that they are. I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it? Thank you so much.
It's really weird. We say this every time we have a little anniversary, or sometimes when we're having just a melancholy moment, that when we started doing this, we thought it would run for about 4 weeks. We didn't think it would run as long as this, and we still have so much more to show you. I mean, we'll be back in the Elizabeth line before long, and then all the other stations that follow after it. We've got trains to talk about. We've got all sorts of other bits and bobs, and we still cannot get over your kindness, your love, and your loyalty to what we do. We can't thank you enough. Chris is chomping at the bit to show you something.
I am, because I'm such a child when it comes to opening presents. I just go straight in for the objects and then go, oh, the card, which does explain. Every adventurer needs a field notebook with love and thanks for your countless trips and journeys across the underground. Jennifer.
It's just
Aw.
it's absolutely
Explore notebooks for our adventures. I love it.
And
love
every
that.
time every time I think about what we've done today, I just get this kind of hairs on the back of my neck sticking up, because it made my day to do this story.
I will tell you something, that I have a real huge fetish for notebooks, for stationaries. I love them. And, you know, I have notebooks at work and I fill them completely and then I keep them. And when I was moving,
she does.
And I love that beautiful notebook will be filled with all my scribbles and my nonsense.
I love that. I honestly, you're just the most amazing human beings. I'm so glad that we managed to do Angel on Christmas Day. Of course, these days, the station is completely different. It's got the longest escalators you could ever possibly imagine seeing. It's got gorgeous marble everywhere. It's stunning and incredible, really. And as a design, it really has stood the test of time, bearing in mind that it was opened in the mid-90s. Chris, thank you. As always, we're going to do notes, queries and questions. We've detained you enough from your families today, but thank you so much for your loyalty and your kindness. We really appreciate it. Chris, thank you, as always, for just being my friend, but also keeping me safe when I'm not necessarily feeling safe in the darkest of places in many, many ways. But you make my mind bigger and you make my heart happier.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It's always dangerous meeting your heroes, isn't it? And I'm just glad it was all you hoped it would be when you finally got to go there. It's been really lovely just to watch you unpack your Christmas stocking of this episode and enjoy it so much. And I hope everybody else has enjoyed it and that you have a happy Christmas and a really good New Year.
Oh, so sweet. Siddy, you're like your little sister, really, aren't you? I mean, really, I'm no inspiration as a big brother, but my goodness, we have a lot of fun. Merry Christmas to you, beautiful.
Merry Christmas. And oh my God, if I could choose anyone in the world to be my big brother, it would be you, Mr. Grundon. Absolutely. Just imagine the laughs we would have around the Christmas tree on Christmas Day if we were brother and sister. I mean, we'd probably be kicked out of the family gathering for being too raucous. What a beautiful episode. So sorry we couldn't come with you to Angel. It's been such a hectic month, and you know we've all got so many things on our plate, but I'm so glad you finally got to meet your lovely Christmas angel.
Oh, it's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And Laura, we've always said this, you just bring a level of interpretation to everything that perhaps we are looking for one thing and you are looking for something completely different, and you complete the jigsaw for us. So from us to all of you and your family, Merry Christmas to you, beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much, Alex Grundon. I genuinely can't believe I'm saying this, but thank you, all three of you, for another year of exploration. And we've done old, we've done new, we've done above ground, we've done below ground, and I've enjoyed every single minute. And just Merry Christmas to you all, and Merry Christmas to all of our viewers. Happy New Year, and here's to another year, guys. Here's to another year.
Oh, so sweet. Do you know, it's funny, for years when I was working in my previous job, I would sit in the pub at Christmas with my friend Jane, and we would hope for a better year the next year. It's got to be better next year, isn't it? It can't be as bad as this one, can it? But you know what? I suddenly realized when I changed careers that your life is what you make it. And if you want to make a change and make your year better, do something to make yourself smile more. I did that. I love my job here at the London Transport Museum. It is so much fun. And I've made family, not just friends, out of all of this. We're going to take a little break for the next couple of weeks to give ourselves a chance to recharge and to get our ducks in order for the next series, series 5 of the Hidden London Hangouts. Have yourselves the greatest, most wonderful of Christmas with your families and friends. And as I say, as always, have yourself a great day. Merry Christmas and stay safe.